Welcome to another episode of the Dibbly Dobblers podcast. As always, I'm your main host, Callum. Although you might notice we're in slightly different surroundings as we're recording this episode remotely, because
I'm in
I
the same
can't stand.
surroundings. Yeah.
Well, you're in my seat. Get out.
I, I am actually, yeah.
So this is our producer, director, dinner lady. Well, you're not dinner lady tonight, actually, and secondary host, Andrew. I would ask you how it's going, but I've already seen you tonight, Andrew, so I don't really care. So it's fine.
Cheers. Yeah. Your audio quality still sounds bizarre to me, but it sounded okay when we did a test recording, so hopefully it's all right for the viewers and listeners. If not, they're just going to have to suck it up for a week, unfortunately.
We thought we would test it out, being remote from each other and see how that went. Partly as well, we have got an interview, a big interview at the end of the week that will be coming out.
Yep, we do.
And we thought we'd try and not offend our wives by having 2 late nights together. So we're just doing one of them over webcam instead. So yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think our episode tonight will be the longest episode, although you never know, because we might just start ranting on about things and whatnot. And plus, I still need to celebrate towards the end of the episode, but we'll save that for that point.
No, that's not.
It's going to be a bit odd.
We're not letting that happen. Not letting that happen.
I can't see what's going on the screen is one slight problem I have. So Andrew could be putting all sorts up there. Wouldn't really surprise me.
I should do that.
Just like drawing googly eyes on me and all sorts. Yeah. But
so I guess we're just going to focus on the domestic stuff this week. And yeah, we'll share the interview over the weekend maybe, or do you think it'll go into next week's episode? I think it'll go in over the weekend. Probably we'll share it on its own.
Yeah, we'll probably see how long the episode goes. I mean, if we only have 15 minutes, it's maybe not worth it. So it might just go in next week's episode. But I guess time will tell on that front, really.
Indeed.
Well, Andrew, I have no idea what you're bringing up. So I'm going to need you to actually, do some communicating to the listeners and to me so we all know what's going on.
Right. Let's go and get straight on then with Team of the Week. We shared it on Twitter over the weekend, or on Monday afternoon. You weren't happy with me because I put it to press before you'd properly proofread it, but I made an executive decision.
And I still disagree with... I don't disagree with the people. I just disagree with the order, but it's fine. That's probably just been pedantic, so hey-ho.
Yeah, I think so. Right, let's transition. So I've got it up on screen now, and yep. So, Team of the Week this week. Have you got the graphic up so you can refer to it?
I have got the graphic up in front of me, Andrew. Yes, I do.
Apologies, viewers and listeners. This is a little bit of a test and learn, so it's maybe not as smooth as normal. So yeah, Team of the Week. Majid Rashid of Meagle at the top of it. So he scored 103 off 93 balls and took 1 for 15 from 8 overs in their Village Cup victory against Carlton Towers on Sunday. Mark Petrie of Arbroath for his 82 that he scored against Falkland in the T20 regional qualifiers during the week last week. And then we've got 2 from Perth Ducat, so Musakar Hussain and Babar Ali for their 85 and 119s respectively against Stonywood Dice 2s.
I believe they shared a 200-run partnership, which is a no mean feat at all.
Yeah, that's massive partnership, and yeah, the real key to them putting on a big total against Stonywood. Lewis Monroe of Aberdeenshire, who took 4 for 35 off 8 overs and was 63 not out with the bat against Meagle in their massive victory. It wasn't massive in terms of margin of victory. Well, I suppose it was comfortable in the end, but it was massive in terms of the context of the league season. And he also knocked out the top order. Am I right in saying it was batters 1, 2,
I think it was 1 to 4.
No, it was 1, 2, 3, and 8, or was it 1, 2, 4?
Oh, right.
So yeah, but really destroyed the top order, and saw the chase home with a not-out innings as well. Next up, Matthew Parker, or Matty Parker of Arbroath, for his 115 of 117 balls against Stu Mell in the Eastern Premier League. Matthew Simpson of Strathmore for his 80 not out against Arbroath's second team. Usman Saeed, another Pawtucket player, this time for a T20 performance, 79 not out and 2 for 19 off 2.4 overs against Forfarshire in a game that they did ultimately lose, but still a very strong performance. Ayush Dasmahapatra of Aberdeenshire. Now, he does open the batting for Aberdeenshire, but he's in as a bowler because he took 5 for 31 of 8.3 overs against Meagle. So after Lewis Monroe had opened the door, he walked through and took pretty much the rest of the wickets. Another Meagle performance from Sunday in Charles Clark. He took 5 for 28 off his 7.5 overs. And then rounding it off, Tahir Niazi of Kinloch for 4 for 27 against Dundee High School former pupils.
Not Richard Bowman. He still couldn't get in. So,
I know, despite taking top order
trying,
wickets. Indeed.
I know. But I was actually, well, I suppose there was 4 very strong bowling performances there, and then there's kind of like almost like 2 all-rounders, I suppose. So it was a tough week to break in on a bowling-only performance, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree. So, Player of the Week time. And to be honest, from that team, there was really only one candidate for me because they contributed with bat, they contributed with the ball, and the game that they contributed in was potentially a title decider. If it comes down to it. So obviously we'll come on to results from the weekend shortly. Although as I say that, I realise I've not created that graphic, so we'll maybe not have that in terms of on the screen. But we'll talk over it. But yeah, Player of the Week this week for his 4 for 35 and 63 not out against Meagle is Aberdeenshire's Lewis Monroe. I'll just bring that up on the screen now. There we go.
Come on, Andrew. I've got it on my screen. Why have you not got it on yours?
Because I just brought the wrong thing up on screen, so it's really going to be a really great week, this one.
It's gonna. I mean, at least the graphics so far are correct. So I mean, we're a bonus from getting players messaging us angrily that we've put the wrong graphic up. So it's all right.
Yeah.
But no, I think to be fair for Lewis Monroe, it's neither the best bowling nor best batting performance. In another game, yeah, he probably did it. He probably did enough to be, with the way the other results went and things like that. You had like Matty Parker's 100 against Stu Mell. If Arbroath had come out and won that game, that was probably another contender in there, particularly when you look at how Arbroath have been performing this year.
Yeah.
But I think the game in itself, a crunch performance, that's really what sets this performance apart. And obviously his teammate got a 5 for, but Lewis really started the rot. So and we have kind of looked at that quite a lot when we're trying to pick bowling performances. Is kind of who are the wickets that they're taking, and that's, I think, a big thing there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
he sort of got really into the Meagle middle order with his bowling performance up top. Him and Deanne Forrester they both scored 63, didn't they, in the batting effort?
Yeah.
Forrester did lose his wicket though towards the end, but the pair of them saw it pretty much home. So yeah, the combination of the two, and as we said, potential title decider. The fact that Aberdeenshire have got that game in week 1 means that their percentage is slightly better than Meagle's. So I think they do sit outright top of the league at the moment as we stand, and obviously they don't play each other again, and you could easily see both of them going undefeated for the rest of the season. So yeah, as a potential title decider, so a massive performance there.
Yeah, I mean, I know we'll bring the table up shortly, but yeah, I mean, it is a massive result because, to be honest, I still look at the two halves of the draw or whatever, however the correct terminology to describe it is. And to be honest, in that North region, if I'm correct in saying Aberdeenshire won at Huntly, and I would say that's the only obvious banana skin that I see. I think Gordonians still have got a bit of quality in their team, but the once actually if Aberdeenshire can come out of the sort of mixed fixtures with only one loss, I think they become the favourites, because I think you've got, if Meagle come up against Fruki with Safi in the side, there's every chance of an upset there. There are, Ducat, Strathmore, Forfarshire, these guys have got match winners in them, and Usman for Perth, but they've had two other guys that have contributed with scores. They've got a decent bowling attack. Strathmore have got Tian Brits.
Strathmore are in the North group.
So they are. Sorry, they
So
are. So no,
that's
okay.
probably
Well,
the
they're
only.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
if they come
I
up
forgot.
against if they come up against Strathmore and Tian Brits has a day, then they're definitely going to be a danger to Aberdeenshire.
Yeah, and Strathmore have obviously had three guys, well, actually four guys in recent weeks that have made scores. We've got two in
Yeah,
the team of the week this week, and we had Sammy Jazz last week, and it escapes me, someone else scored an 80.
it was Tian Brits, was it not?
No, he got 97 last week. It was someone else got 81 not out, I think it was
Right.
last
Yeah.
week. But the fact that they've now got a batting performance in them, there's a few contributors with a bat. And they had Kiani in form earlier on in the season and things. But I still think that South group has got more potential upsets in it than what the North group has, based on what we're seeing so far. So it was a huge, huge win.
Yeah.
Despite the fact I think our Aberdeenshire listeners possibly think we maybe favoured the other team, but we'll remain impartial. We've just
Indeed we
called it as it's
do.
been.
Indeed we do. Yeah, and well, there you go. We're giving your boy is player of the week. So
No pitchforks required.
indeed, indeed. Right, results. You've got the results. You got the results to hand from the week that has just been.
I do. I think.
Cool. Right, you can go. You can go
I've,
through them then.
I have managed to put things on the wrong screens, just because this is all going very swimmingly smoothly.
You've at least got multiple screens. I'm just working off the one this week. I need your monitor next to my table. I'm missing it this week.
Sorry that I provide all the gear, and you've got no idea.
You provide a monitor.
The light is mine. Thank you very much. Okay, just saying. Yeah. So we go. Are we going EPL first then?
Yeah. Let's chat through the EPL. Yeah.
Okay. So we had 4 different games that had SPCU region teams involved. So we had Forfarshire at home to Carlton. Stonywood Dice were at home to Heriots. Falkland to Castorphin. And in fact, they were all at home. Arbroath to Stu Mill. So we had one victory to Forfarshire, who, it wasn't an absolute romping, but in the end got home by 2 wickets. They scored. Carlton posted 227 for 7, and Forfs replied with 231 for 8. 46 overs, 4 left. I seem to recall following this along live, and there was a bit of a tumble of wickets. I think they were kind of cruising, and then there was just a little sort of flurry of wickets towards the end. It was a wee bit like, oh, yeah. It was like, is it coming? But it didn't. They held out. Callum Garden and Jack Hogarth was kind of the key to that victory with the bat. A solid partnership in the middle. Stonywood and Falkland came up against, two of the best teams in the country. In fact, currently by the table, the 2 best teams in the country, and were both convincingly thumped. And there's probably not a lot positive to talk about either of those, so we'll just skip them. And the fourth game, or in the list, the fourth game was Arbroath, who I think will be feeling possibly one that got away
Yeah.
in their defeat. They scored 295. We mentioned Matty Parker got a ton in the game, and they ended up losing by 6 wickets. And again, they didn't get thumped, but Stu Mill got there was 6 wickets, 3 and a bit overs remaining. Yeah, it just feels like that was the one that they've kind of been waiting to come around, and they just couldn't deliver.
It's passed them by. It's unfortunate because they are a team that are in real need of a victory. So I'll bring up the table on screen, and you can see where everyone is at. So you've got Forfarshire. Basically, the SPCU sides in the EPL are sort of two groups of two, really. Forfarshire and Stonywood Dice are sat next to each other. They've both got 4 wins and 3 losses from 7 games. Forfarshire just slightly ahead on net run rate. And then the bottom 2 spaces are occupied by Falkland and Arbroath. Falkland, that one solitary victory, and Arbroath are yet to get off the mark. Carlton are still only one win ahead of Falkland, so they're still within reach as well. They are having a poor season. But yeah, Arbroath really need to get a win and get a win soon, if they're going to have a chance of retaining their EPL status.
Yeah, I think the big difference between the two is that Falkland are now, well, I think they would tell me I'm wrong if I said they're at full contingent. One of their big issue seems to be they can't actually get their first team out on the park very often. But they have got as available players as they're ever going to get.
Yeah.
Harsher's now over. They've got Castles. So that's what they've got. They're working with what they've got. Arbroath, from what we hear, are still due to have overseas players coming in. And that could make all the difference. I'm not 100% sure who they've got coming in, so I can't really comment about what differences they're going to make or not. But I do hope for Arbroath's sake, though, that they are bowlers, or at least one of them is a bowler. I would say in the seam bowling department in particular, they've not been great in any department, especially with the ball. But they definitely need a bit of firepower, I think, to get the innings, off to a good start. You look at Castles for Falkland, he looks like he could rip through a top order and put the opposition under pressure. And I'm just not sure Arbroath currently have got that person within their ranks. And unfortunately, it means that even when they post up big scores, they're going to get chased down. And yeah, for Forster Stonywood, it'll be interesting to see where they end up. If they were as tight as that at the end of the season, I would be quite surprised. But there should be, Stonywood, I still think that their ambition, they still have to be realistic, and that there's probably still comfortable survival, and that's what they've achieved. They should have achieved that, even with 4 victories. So
yeah, I can't see both Arbroath and Falkland putting runs together to get them up to 4 victories. But you could maybe see one of them hitting a run of form, if things fall the right way for them. But I can't see both of them having the run of results that would get them up and past Stonywood. So yeah, I would expect that they're safe in terms of survival at the EPL level for another season, certainly.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So let's move on to the NEC. I've managed to get these results up in front of me, so I'll talk through them quickly. So Perth Ducat 299 for 6, played Stonywood Dice second 11, bowled them out for 125. So that was a really convincing win for Perth Ducat there. this one, the next one, sort of, I'm sure
It was a
Callum
good
will
result.
gladly
Good result.
discuss it more when we get to the predictions later on. But Forfarshire second 11 away at Huntly were bowled out for 83, and Huntly chased it for the loss of 1 wicket. So they had a 9-wicket victory. Another really one-sided game there. Arbroath United second 11 away at Strathmore. They posted 178, and Strathmore chased that with 10 overs left to spare, so got there quite comfortably. Dundee High School former pupils bowled out for 52 by Kinloch, who chased that total for the loss of 2 wickets in 7.2 overs. They were not hanging about to get that one chased down. Gordonians 197 for 8 against Fruki 199 for 2. So again, 9.1 overs left in that one as well. So really convincing stuff from Fruki. And then the big game at Mannifield, Magle bowled out for 189 in 41 overs. Aberdeenshire 190 for 4, chased it down in 41.4. So 3.2 overs left and 6 wickets in hand. Have to say that that's a pretty comfortable victory for Aberdeenshire in the end. So, what does that mean for the table? So bring the table up. So as we said, Aberdeenshire now outright in first place, due to having played that extra game. So the loss doesn't count quite as heavily on their percentage. Huntly in third, alongside Fruki, both with 4 wins from 6. And then you've got 5 teams that are all sat on 3 victories in Perthduket, Strathmore, Forfarshire 2s, Gordonians, Arbroath 2s, and Kinloch. And then you've got the 2 winless teams at the bottom in Stonywood Dice 2 and Dundee High School former pupils. Stonywood have managed to garner more bonus points throughout the season, so they are currently in 11th with Dundee High sitting bottom. Right. Anything to add there?
No, I think we kind of touched on it last week. Top 2, they're going to be battling it out, and it's pretty close, except for the bottom 2. So I don't think a lot's changed. Just the top 2. Well, there's been movement, but in the grand scheme of things, not a lot's changed in the league.
Yeah. Right.
We're gonna predictions then.
Nah.
Oh well, we should touch on
Village Cup.
The Village Cup. Although it's probably worth mentioning that the Northern Lights unfortunately suffered their first defeat of the season.
They did. Yes.
They went up against Carlton, who have been traditionally certainly one of the heavyweights of the women's game in the country. Can't actually 100% remember that if they are now top. They are, in fact. And yeah, so, unlucky to the girls, but they are still sitting second, and only marginally behind Carlton. So, although everyone only plays each other once in the Women's Premier League, so there is no chance to get their own back. So, it's whether that could have decided things or otherwise. But,
yeah.
And in fact, they're down in Perth this weekend.
They are.
Playing Dumfries.
Yeah, at Perth. So I'm going to try and get along to that for a little bit on Sunday. See if I can watch some of that. But we'll see how the weekend goes. That may or may not happen.
But for anyone obviously in the area that is, obviously the Northern Lights playing the games up at Mannifield predominantly, and the rest of the games are really Edinburgh way, aside from the teams in the West. So good opportunity for anyone within the sort of Tayside area to get along and watch some women's cricket.
Absolutely, yeah, indeed. Yeah, and then we mentioned in Team of the Week, there were a couple of performances from Meagles Village Cup game on Sunday that made it in there. So they played Carlton Towers, who are from down Yorkshire way. And yeah, a rather convincing victory, wasn't it? Which I don't think I was quite expecting to see.
No, it was interesting when we had talked. We had Purcell and Stewart on, and he had spoke about Tom Collins as being the key wicket based on the information they had been able to garner, and they dismissed him quite early on for 9. And don't know enough about them to say for definite, but he obviously singled him out, and maybe they managed to get that key wicket really, and
Yeah.
I don't know whether they've been relying on him or not, but yeah, I mean there was a 50 from Carlton Towers, and that was it. That was the only resistance really.
So yeah, 117 run victory it was in the end for Meagle, and they move on. I can't remember the name of the club that they play next week, but it's a club from the Chester area.
I think it begins with an A, but
it does. It definitely does begin with an A. But they play them at home a week on Sunday, so they've got another home tie in the next round for the chance to get into the quarterfinals. So it's into the serious stuff.
It is Alvanley is who they are playing.
Alvanley, yeah. So they're down that Chester, Warrington, Liverpool kind of area, that part of the country. So yeah, I'm sure we'll speak a bit more about that again in the next couple of weeks. Right, predictions. Let's do the predictions then, since you're so happy to speak about them.
Oh, come on now! You make it out like I'm smug about this, Andrew. Come on. I mean, I am, but there's no need to tell everyone.
Yeah, okay. Right, yeah.
I've got it on my screen. You got your graphic up, Andrew?
I've got the graphic up, yeah. Unfortunately, I do. So, we both got Aberdeenshire against Meagle wrong. We both went for Meagle to win that one. So I'll start on the low for you, because that was the only low you had. Every other one of yours came in. Because I backed that Forfarshire would be riding high. I had a conversation on Friday with Richard Rennie, and he told me that there were about 6 changes to the Forfarshire side from the week before. And as soon as he said that, I knew that it was just not going to happen for me. The key one being that he came back into the side. So cheers, Richard.
I told you Richard coming back would screw things up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to caveat the sort of Meagle one. I did point out that I saw every chance of Aberdeenshire winning it. So, it wasn't...
I mean, we both recognised that it was a 50-50 really, but we backed Meagle to win it. Notably, Aberdeenshire did it without Kenny Reid being there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So what you're saying is it's Kenny's fault. So what you're saying?
It's Kenny's fault that they won.
That they lost before and they were in second. So what you're saying?
No, that's definitely not what I'm saying. It sounds like it's what you're saying.
No, I'm not. No.
You're really trying to start fights tonight.
Right. No, I'm just trying to start fights for you. It's okay. We know Aberdeen fans didn't like you, Andrew. They've shown it all over Twitter. It's all right. Don't worry about it. I don't get any abuse at my one. I get the abuse from the Meagle people.
Scores on the doors.
I talk a lot and things. Scores on the doors.
Now
have you got them up?
8 points lead. I do have them up. Yeah, you've got 40 points. I've got 32. I need you to just not predict scores for a couple of weeks.
I mean, pretty much that's what you need.
Yeah,
because you're still going to get ones wrong. So
yes,
you need me to take a mid-season break and you carry on. So you're saying
that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Anyway,
like to do it, but due to the integrity of the competition, I can't possibly do that. So no luck. Although we do, I've just thought I don't think we've not preempted our graphic for the next bit. So
we've not. I can't even remember whose turn it is to pick first. So
I think it's you.
You think it's me?
What were we? Round 8 we're on. Yeah, it must be you, because we didn't do week 1. You're the even weeks, despite the fact you were first, because we didn't do round 1.
All right, so this is round 8 of predictions rather than round 8 of the NEC.
No. This is round 8 of the NEC.
But we had a 3 Counties Cup week in the middle.
Also, it must be me. Excellent.
Did we do a joker on the 3? No, we didn't do a joker on 3 counties, did we?
No, we didn't. So it is you.
Right.
I was gonna say I picked Duke up first last week, so I mean,
To me, to you, to.
it's a good job everyone watches us for or listens to us for how amazingly polished we are.
Indeed. Right, so I've got them up on screen now. The predictions that we're going with. Stonywood Dice against Dundee High School former pupils. We've both gone for Stonywood there. Although that could go either way, I have to say.
Absolutely not. I actually don't think this is as close as it probably looks on paper. I mean, Dundee High School don't look capable of scoring 3 figures, really. At least, I mean, there's a reason that Stonywood have got a gap in the bonus points. It's that they actually have at least.
But
I mean,
I
I'm
think
not saying
Dundee
it's
High have a
walkover.
reasonable. I think there's a very chance this will be a very low scoring game. I think that Dundee High are a stronger bowling side than batting side. And they have had
That's
bowling
probably fair point.
performances. They've had bowling performances through the year. Stonywood Dice are going to be a side that's low on confidence. So even though they put performances here and there, there's still a chance that Dundee High School could skittle them. And then if it's a low scoring game, then it could go either way. I do get what you're saying in that I'd back Stonywood's batting contingent to perform over Dundee High's. The fact that it's up in Stonywood Dice as well, I think, if in doubt, kind of back the home team.
I'm just more confident than this being a 50-50 is my view, but
I would say I wouldn't say it's a 50-50, but I did say it could go either way without it necessarily being a 50-50.
I wonder what the CS Live app says it is.
It doesn't say. I had a look. It didn't say.
It doesn't say.
Nah, it doesn't seem to be
only predicts good games like Bredavan games and things.
Yes, indeed. Next one, Forfarshire versus Strathmore. We've both gone for an away win. Strathmore. I think Tian Brits has already scored a nice big ton at Fort Hill this season. I reckon he'll do so again.
I mean, it kind of goes back to my point earlier, is that, I mean, Strathmore now have got a few batsmen in form. They're going to one of the best batting tracks in the country. Forfarshire managed to skittle Aberdeenshire, but they've not exactly had an amazing. Partly, as Richard had said, they can't get the same people out on the park all the time, and that's what a lot of twos sides suffer from. They've got the capability within the club to beat Strathmore, but Tian Brits, back him all the time.
Yeah, I completely agree. The next one is the first one that we've gone different on. Arbroath versus Huntly. For me, every time we go different on a Huntly score, you win. Seems to be the way that this goes. So I'm not particularly confident on here as to how this will pan out for me, but it's what we're going with anyway. So I've gone with Huntly to win, and you've gone with Arbroath.
Yeah, Arbroath are unbeaten at home, and Huntly are very good at home. Mm-hmm. So I have backed the fact that Huntly are away. I've gone with Arbroath. I think it will be I think actually all the games the bottom one doesn't, but the other 4, they're not, dead certs. But I think we'll see an Arbroath victory.
Yeah, and then Duca against Gordonians. This for me was the hardest of them to pick. So as I said previously, actually, I'm going with the home team in here to win. I've gone for Ducat. You've gone for Gordonians.
Yeah. I just kind of did it because you went for Ducat, to be honest, and I knew that first. Yeah, it was a bit of a flip of the coin job, to be honest. Gordonians, certainly in the league, haven't had the best season. I think they are one that I would point to and say they look like they're underperforming. I think they were third last year in the NEC. But yeah, I mean, it could go either way. But I mean, Gordonians have got Ducat's a decent batting track, and Gordonians have got a very, very good top order. And I think I'm just backing that personally. That's probably the only thing that swung it for me a wee bit.
Yeah, although you could say that obviously Ducat have had batting performances over the last couple of weeks. They seem to have more than just one contributor with the bat now. So yeah, I could see it being a high scoring game, that one, I have to say.
Yeah, I think with the best respect to the guys who performed last weekend, it wasn't against the same standard of opposition.
Yeah.
And against the better opposition, we're still predominantly seeing a reliance on Usman.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, guys maybe got a confidence boost and they'll maybe go on to further decent performances. Last one, Kinloch, Magle. We've both gone with Magle on that one. Yeah, Magle and Aberdeenshire, and to an extent Fruki are comfortably above the rest of the sides in the division, I think. So I don't see that one will go any other way than Magle's.
Nope.
Joker.
It's you first.
So it's me to go first. So yeah, I suppose the last one that we covered there, I will take Magle as my Joker.
Okay. Just to try and stretch my lead out, I'm going to pick one of them that we're different on, and I'm going to back Arbroath with my Joker because I feel like none of them are that dead cert, and I might as well just try and get a bigger. Lead over you.
It doesn't work for you getting a bigger lead though, because I lose 1 point regardless of whether you've picked it as the Joker. I mean, you've picked it. I
get 2.
Yeah,
I could get 2 points.
But if you pick,
I suppose I get 1 point either way, don't I? Oh well, I get well, that'll do it anyway. Just because I can just rub it in your face even more that way.
So if Huntley win, then yeah, I'm happy.
Like half 11,
I get the
Andrew.
2 point gain. Yeah,
it
can only work in my favour, that one actually.
Oh well.
But anyway, yeah.
Can I pick Meagle as well? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Yes, I think Meagle are the obvious pick for a Joker there.
Yeah, they seem to be. Anyway, I think that pretty much brings us to the end, doesn't it? I would say.
It does. Hopefully it's not been too shockingly terrible.
No.
But different. I don't think it's something we'll do very much of, but there may come a point in time in the future where we need to, and we thought we'd give it a bit of a test out. So if it is terrible, then tell us, because it'd be good to know.
Yeah, I think also it'll be good to, we're hopeful that we'll be able to get guests on the show this way, so it's a bit more on brand with the rest of our graphics rather than recording them directly on Zoom. But hopefully that's something you'll see down the line. Anyway, catch us on Twitter at DibDobPod. Please do like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Comments, conversation, all of that. We want to hear from you. Tell your friends, your club mates. Yeah, really spread the word of the Dibbly Dobblers. And we will speak to you again next week or the weekend. One of them. Bye now.